Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Marlena Evans was surprised to find that Eric Brady had moved out when she ran into Kate Roberts Bray at the pub on Thursday, September 28, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers recap. Sloane Peterson was similarly taken aback when Eric moved in earlier than anticipated and brought over his belongings. Eric responded by pointing out that they would soon be married, while Sloane made fun of the former priest for living a sinful life. When Sloane said she didn't want to get married at the pub, Eric acknowledged he felt the same way because he had previously married Nicole Walker there. As they discussed their joy over the adoption, Eric felt it would be wise to get a different lawyer than Belle Brady, Martha Madison, because of her numerous personal problems. Paulina Price unexpectedly appeared and fired her in DA Melinda Trask's office, leaving her speechless. Paulina was adamant that this had nothing to do with DA Trask's acting. Rather, she didn't appreciate the way Melinda had treated both her and Chanel Dupree, Raven Bowens. Since she was on the verge of pinning Lai Shin to the wall, Trask begged to keep her job and offered a high-profile conviction. Melinda mentioned her supper with Lai tonight and gave off the impression that she could pull it off quickly. Melinda had best follow through, said Paulina, or else she would be fired. On Thursday's Days program, Melinda contacted Lai and asked if they could have dinner together after Paulina left. Lai ran into Melinda in the town square and took the drink she had ordered for him. Melinda explained how wonderful their relationship was, but Lai replied he thought they should break up instead. When Melinda questioned why, Lai overheard her and played a recording threatening to hang him and confessed the teddy bear he had given her in the workplace was a bug. Melinda texted Sloane to let him know she had been dumped after Lai sauntered off in Thursday's Days episode. Sloane informed Eric of her intention and then left to go check on Melinda. Paulina also ran into Melinda again, and when she realized she couldn't bring Lai to justice as promised, she told Trask to clean out her office. Melinda packed her belongings in a box as instructed and yelled at Lai through the teddy bear. Sloane came and found out Trask's night had become worse since she was dismissed when Melinda brought out a gavel to beat the stuffy. Sloane proposed to hire Melinda for the position, saying that this would be advantageous for her as she required an adoption lawyer. While unpacking his possessions, Eric retrieved a photo from his wedding to Nicole. When Marlena arrived, she expressed surprise that Eric had moved in with Sloane, but Eric said that he thought it was the correct choice. Marlena was optimistic that things would turn well for Eric since she thought he was turning a corner in his life, even though she came across as doubtful. Marlena also appeared to notice a picture of Nicole and Eric that was close by at one point. E.J. Demera updated Nicole at the Demera home on the termination of Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, for spying on his phone. Wendy's assertion that Susan Banks was still alive surprised Nicole, and she wondered whether it might be real. E.J. believed it was merely a ploy by Ava Vitali, Tamara Braun, to get him off her back. E.J. had a feeling that his mother would give him a sign if Susan were actually still alive. Nicole believed that the unexpected loss of electricity was E.J.'s sign, as though it were just a coincidence and not the kind of indication Susan would give E.J. He pretended it wasn't. Ava and Harris Michaels arrived at Edmund Crumb's address after finding it online on Thursday's DOL episode in London. Harris and Ava apologized for the late hour and said they had something essential to discuss with Edmund as it impacted Susan Banks. After serving Ava and Harris tea inside, Edmund asked them to explain why they thought Susan was still alive and whether she had given him any indications. Edmund said Susan hadn't, and she wouldn't need to because she was tethered to the floor of the rear bedroom, which he later confirmed. Perplexed on Thursday's episode of Days, Edmund claimed that he wasn't kidding, despite Harris and Ava's assumption to the contrary. As Ava and Harris started to feel off, Edmund also admitted that he had tainted their tea. In the room where Susan was bound up, Edmund took control of Harris and Ava after they fell asleep. Susan appeared to be in shock over Edmund's deeds as she reeled from them. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Ava, Harris, and Susan will all have to escape a challenging situation. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, September 29, Victor Kiriakis' new will fully excludes Vivian Alamain and leaves her with nothing, so Maggie Kiriakis will enjoy showcasing it. As a result, Vivian will be able to be ejected from the Kiriakis estate by Maggie, but it appears that the police will need to be summoned to ensure that she leaves the property. Alex Kiriakis will then carry on analyzing the letter that purports to be from Angelica Devereaux, Judith Chapman, and proves that he is Victor's biological son. Because Victor wanted to make amends to his previously ignored son, he made a new will that gave Alex the right to receive half of his inheritance. Naturally, the evidence is mounting that Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, is actually Victor's biological son, especially given that he recently pretended to never accept a penny of Victor's money. Alex will benefit from the new will while it lasts, even if there is a Donovan's, Jen Lilly, manipulation will eventually come to light. Nevertheless, Alex will still be devastated because he believes Victor and Angelica let him to live a lie his entire life. Alex, who thinks Justin Kiriakis, Wally Kurth, isn't actually his biological father, will be consoled by Sonny Kiriakis. On Friday's DOL episode, Sonny will wrap off his most recent return appearance and leave. After Eric Brady, Greg Vaughan, moved in with Sloan Peterson, Jessica Surfety, Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, according to Days spoilers, would continue their talk. Marlena emphasized that she was content as long as Eric was content, but she also looks worried of him going too swiftly towards Sloan. Nicole Walker, Ariane Zucker, doesn't seem to have broken Eric's heart, and most likely never will. Marlena can bring up the wedding photo of Eric Cole that Eric was just gazing at and question whether he's hurrying up with Sloan to avoid thinking about Nicole. According to previews for other days, Leo Stark, Greg Raycott, will be shocked when Gwen Ristek, Emily O'Brien, rubs his face in dessert. Leo will likely understand the game is up as Gwen admits she knows he's shagging Dimitri von Luschner, Peter Port. At the Dinnerer mansion, Dimitri will face with an armed Kristen Dinnerer, Stacey Haydock. According to Days teasers, Kristen will threaten Dimitri with a gun because he didn't pay her share of his inheritance. However, when Dimitri uses the weapon against Stefan Dinnerer, Brandon Barish, and Gabby Dinnerer next, things will take an unexpected turn. When it happens, Vivian will return and wield her own weapon on Dimitri, since she won't allow Stefan suffer a terrible end once more. There will be some frightening images on Friday's episode, not to mention Leo's horrifying hallucination in which he believes Dimitri has left a carnage in Gabby and Stefan's bedroom. Stay in for updates on all the astounding news as Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that some shocks are in store for Salem. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.